IT organic, IT organic, IT organic, IT organic 1804. Shouts out to the ancestors of 1804. Got these brothers right here looking like some good baron criminel, baron samedi, baron lacroix. All the barons that we got. I was thinking, man, a lot of people who are against certain groups in Haiti, they're very ecstatic, very happy, right? That Dimitri Vob has been arrested. And when I look on maybe some other people's pages that comes from the same community, like Dimitri, most of them are standing by and showing support to his family and saying that he's innocent. Innocent through until proven guilty. And to be honest with you, I believe that. I mean, I even talked about that yesterday when I was posting. I said, you know what? Innocent until proven guilty. But also, I believe if you are found guilty, you should get, like a death penalty for treason. One thing I can say to many of you who's probably listening, you probably come from the same social class like me and my family, because as you know, Haiti and all of these old colonial islands, it's still a lot of classism, right? Colorism. That's a fact. Now, of course, when you talk to people from the other side, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to talk to people who comes from that social class that are mixed, mulatto, Arab, this and that. Some agree that there is a total division in the country. Others say that the hatred and the racism is towards them because they're the minority, and it's injustice. It's unfair to them as Haitians. And I think about it. I say, you know what? When Jovenel Moise was killed, right, in his house, I mean, I remember going on social media, and I specifically would look at a lot of people's pages, and a lot of them was, they didn't even talk about his murder. And even individuals like this man right here, I mean, there was no rest in peace, this and that. As a matter of fact, he left the country. I remember he left. All right, talking about this man, Dimitri Vob, he left. I think he was probably detained maybe back in 2020, and he was released. But the fact that his supporters, people that comes from his class, his social class, his group, they're like, this is a setup. This is, incorrect. He's innocent. Even if Dimitri Vob, right, was innocent from the assassination of the president, is he an angel? Or has he been involved in a lot of the, monopolies that these economic families have in the country? So, I don't know. I feel as François Duvalier, he had a reason why he was the way he was. But also, I blame Papa Doc, because Papa Doc, he removed the economic powers from the old elites, okay? This is the affranchis, the French, German, the old elites that were in Haiti since the 1700s, right? The Haitian. Because you better believe they know Haiti, they know it better than you or I, if you was born in, the States. So when, Dimitri Vob is like, you know what, the president, he's probably hurt me for a couple years, but I'm in this for the long run. The fight that I'm fighting, the war, the battle that I'm partaking with, his group is for at least 50 years or better. And I respect that. When I lived in Haiti, one thing I realized with the mass, with the people, every time they would see a mulatto, Arab, one of these mixed Haitians, they would be intimidated. Can you believe that? I mean, I witnessed it numerous times. I go somewhere, it could be a restaurant, it could be this, it could be that, it could be in the supermarket, and you might find a Arab, mulatto, or even a black person who has money, because if you don't know, you have blacks as well that is just as crooked as Dimitri Vob. All of these politicians, these senators, deputies. So I'm not going to say that this should just be something where they're going to target people like Dimitri Vob and Reginald Boulos and all these other guys and leave out like the senators and the deputies. That's how I see it. But again, if you talk to someone that is from this guy's inner circle, or they know him because, in Port-au-Prince, a lot of these wealthy families, they're all linked in together. I don't know if this is true. Someone needs to tell me. This man, his wife, they said is related to Reginald Boulos. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, you guys would have to see. They have been successful, in my opinion. When I say they, I'm talking about the elites. They have been successful to kind of keep the country in that same social construct from the colony days, when you had Saint-Domingue, the colony. But I tell you what, when I'm looking at this picture right here, and he's chained up like that, even if he's innocent, and I say that for all of his supporters, all the people that love him and would never think that this guy would be involved in a presidential assassination. He wouldn't put, because it wasn't just one person, right? This was a group of people that put a couple $1 million together, both foreign and domestic, inside the country and outside the country. I believe everyone that is guilty will have to pay. You'll have to pay. You have to pay it some way. You cannot, just kill a president and pop out his head and pop out his eyes. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go back, because there was something I was saying, that when the president was killed, I went on many people's Instagram, because I just was online to see what people was talking about on social media. Many individuals who were either from Dimitri Vob's group, or many individuals who were probably like entertainers. That's another thing. A lot of the entertainment people, I did not see anything posting saying rest in peace. Matter of fact, some people was promoting their battle or promoting some show. It was crazy to me. But hopefully we can start getting some closure to the assassination of the president. Also, the assassination of Maître Dorval. I mean, there's a lot of people that was killed before the president. There were many people killed after the president. And all of these murders, they just go unsolved and they kind of move on to the next. But they can't move on to the next with a president being killed. I also believe like someone like Dimitri Vob, I think that's like the low end of the fruit, that's hanging from the fruit tree. Like, I just think he's just someone that was just out there. He's always on live. He was an easy target, so they got him. But I'm pretty sure that even though he's a multimillionaire, I believe that he's a little fish. I feel like Reginald Boulos is probably a bigger fish than him. You understand? But I'll be impressed when they start to arrest, the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? The big people. I mean, I'm not saying Dimitri Vorb is some kind of poor pauper. I mean, he's very successful businessman. His family is very wealthy, and his family was involved in the education system. There was one of the professors that was a Vorb. You had soccer players that represented the Vorb family. And if he's found guilty, I still don't think it should be something where the whole family gets the blame, right? You always have some rotten apples in a bunch, or one or two rotten apples. But the family should remove themselves from him, for sure, if he is guilty. Some of my comrades, friends, associates that are not Haitian, when they look at this story, they're like, yo, man, he looks kind of Arab, Middle Eastern. And I say, well, they've been here for 100, 120, 130 years. They've been here for a while. And there's been good Arabs, and we've had bad Arabs. I just don't want it to be something where, even though this guy is found guilty, the people that are closest to him, the people that are in his group, in his sector, in his, whatever, it's like they would just turn a blind eye and just say, no, it's this, it's that. So part of the hypocrisy, I guess, in the country. Yeah, part of the hypocrisy in the country, because the country has a lot of that. So now what's next? What's next? I believe they are going to continue to go after many members of the elites, right? Because you got to chop off the head of the snake first. Everything else crumbles, so politicians, ex-presidents, anyone that was involved, I believe is about to get either arrested. Maybe we're going to see some more assassinations in the country too. So yeah. How are you receiving this information about the arrest of Dimitri Vorb, about the fact that a lot of these politicians, a lot of these elite oligarchs, even in the banking sector, can you imagine they're going to start arresting CEOs in these Haitian banks like Unibank, Sogebank? Can you imagine? Banking sector will also collapse. The judicial system, that's already on the ground. Education is on the ground. Culture, I don't even know if, there hasn't been any real celebration in the cultural sector in the IET at all. Well, yeah, what do you think is next? Anyway, that's all I have, man. I was kind of just thinking out loud, and I said, you know what, let me post this video for you all. Leave any comments. If any of you guys have any ideas of videos, things that I should talk about, please send me a message at ietsorganic@gmail.com. ietsorganic@gmail.com. I feel bad for this guy if he is innocent, because no one who's innocent should be going through this type of humiliation. And again, if he's guilty, I believe he should be charged with high treason. Anyway, ietsorganic. One love, Bobo pour nous toutes.